is the frequency in use. Is the frequency in use. This is K4PEW, net control for Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? I thought as much. If there is an emergency, please call 911 first, and you can chat with us while I rush over to get you in between getting donuts and coffee. You may be breaking in on the net for an emergency at any time. Information on this net, you can see us here on YouTube using the search block and the YouTube thingy, and put in my call, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, or you can put in that. Just leave it at that. Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey will get you there. Or you can see us on our regular website, 146415.net. It's 146415.net. Or you can look us up on the groups.io page. And that's groups.io, groups.India Oscar. And you can just search for us using the letters MJSS, Mount Juliet Simplex Society, MJSS. Or you can send me an email at k4pew@arrl.net. The net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. Of course, we're on the air almost every day doing something. Somebody's talking to somebody. So just monitor this frequency and put it in your memory or your radio. We conduct the net on 146.415 FM Simplex if the odd chance you are off frequency tonight. Purpose of the net is to have fun, which in turn helps people figure out who they can hear and who they can't hear, and they tend to get better antennas and higher antennas, which has worked out for most of us. Let's see what else. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events and activities. Does anybody have any announcements? But let me announce. Today is, what is today? Today's Wednesday, so Thursday night there is an 8 p.m. Wilson County Amateur Radio Club information net on 147 and 105 with a plus offset in a 156.7 PL. And let's see, there's also a 2-meter simplex net in Bowling Green on 146.430 at 7:30 p.m. The previous net was at 8 p.m. But this one's the simplex net at 7:30 p.m. in Bowling Green. Anybody else have any announcements or need clarifications? Apparently not. All right. Probably anybody who's on the mailing list already saw my note. I proctored two tests actually, a technician test and a general test for a fellow over in Hermitage, John, who passed them both and became a new ham. So if he's listening, congratulations to John. It was kind of nice. It was interesting because, for those of you that read the email, it's actually the Anchorage Amateur Radio Club who does it, and they do it all remotely, and they use proctors who also are volunteer examiners like myself. So I was able to sit with John while he took the test and made sure that everything went smoothly, and he did it all online using the laptop's camera and that's all he really needed was the camera and using the online test, and he had instantaneous results, and he probably got his call signed today. And he said he'd have it within about 4 hours. So I said, man, that's pretty cool. So the Anchorage Club has really got it all together. And if somebody else needs or wants to upgrade or needs a test now or can't wait until one of the clubs starts doing their tests again, let me know, and we'll get that Anchorage Amateur Radio Club's stuff going on. Any other announcements that you know? All righty. Well, today is. Stay with me for a second. I forgot the note on where we were starting. We're actually starting from the. Hold on. There we go. I was on the wrong page. We're starting from the west. So the west people, be alert on it. This is net number 583. 583. If I can find a pen. There we go. I got the pen. 583, starting from the west. I'm up first. I'm here. K4PEW. Who else is west? Please come now.
Kilo Bravo 9, Oscar Charlie Delta.
Ah, very good. Kilo Bravo 9 Oscar Charlie Delta. Glad you're in there, Greg. Sound good. Who else is west?
KG4 Delta Queen.
I got a couple in there, but I heard KG4. Chris, what's that call again?
Charlie X-ray Echo.
There you go. Charlie Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-ray Echo, and that's Chris over in Donaldson. Prior to that, it was Greg Kilo Bravo 9 Oscar Charlie Delta, and he's in Pleasant View. Who else is west?
KX4DQ.
KX4DQ. Okay, you're going to get me on this one again. I'm going to have to get my name straight. Name and location again, please.
This is Ron in Southern Davidson County.
Ah, Southern Davidson. Very good. So where is that near that you're near there, Ron? It's in that area. Ron, where's that? What location would you be near in Southern Davidson?
1 mile east of I-65, just south of Old Hickory.
Ah, okay, very good. Very good. Ron's just east of Old Hickory in Southern Davidson County. That's Kilo X-ray 4 Delta Queen. And number 5. Who's next? West. Please come in.
KC4 ILB, Jack and Donaldson.
Hello, Jack. You sound good. And Donaldson, that's Kilo Charlie 4 India Lima Victor. Who else is next?
KM4 YRF.
KM, it's Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. It's Michael in Bellshire. Did you boot Mary and Marty tonight?
No, actually, I've been on the phone. I haven't even had a chance to remind them, but maybe they're listening.
All right, I hope so. Anyway, that was Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. Michael in Bellshire. Who's up? And he also does the 10-meter net on Sunday nights. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sunday nights. Got to keep that straight in my mind. We're also doing it. We're getting confusing because we kind of do a 6-meter net too on upper side band. So I'm not sure. We were doing that tonight, Michael. Was that last time we did that?
I'm sorry, 10-meter net. What's Sunday night?
No, yeah, no. We did the 6-meter net Saturday night, didn't we? It was last Saturday.
Yeah, we did 3 on Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna make it 4 or 5 just to make things difficult for everybody. All right, yeah, we probably will do another 6-meter upper sideband net after the 2-meter sideband net on Saturday. So stand by for more information on that as we move forward. As it is, we're doing 3 nets: the 10-meter upper sideband, the 2-meter upper sideband, and the 2-meter FM. So where are we? I don't know. We're doing enough, I guess, or maybe more than enough. Who else is west? Please come on.
Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo.
All right, I had 2 in there. I had Charles Kilo Golf 4 Sierra Foxtrot. He's in Old Hickory, and we had John Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo, who is in Bellevue. Good to have you both in there. Charles, your signal was pretty good tonight. I mean, I can hear you well, so conditions must be much better. Who else? And John, of course, your signal is good as always. Who else is west? So it's down to the south then. Please come south. Please come down.
Reset if you don't mind. Kilo 4 Oscar Fox Oscar.
Okay, Donnie. What's up, Charles? What do you need?
I'm sorry, come back. I had interference there.
No, that's all right, Donnie. I was talking to somebody else. Appreciate you checking in. Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Donnie in Hermitage, south of me. Charles, say again.
Are you doing like where you 2 seconds where we can talk later? Because I have a question about a radio.
Okay, no, later. You can chime in later. We'll be taking anybody's comments later. All right, Donnie, good to have you in there again. That's Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Yeah, I didn't say that, but we do the lightning round check-ins here, but we'll take anybody who wants to jump in and ask a question or has something to offer. Who else is south? That's where I was.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Yeah, very good, Larry. You covered somebody up. I don't know who it was, but that was Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor, Larry in Rockville. And who was it that was in there same time?
Kilo Golf 4 Whiskey X-ray Uniform.
Kilo Golf 4 Whiskey X-ray Uniform. And forgive me, the name and location, please.
Jerry, South Nashville, down here by Southern Hills.
Ah, Jerry in Southern Hills. Very good. Your signal, you got to go to audio, but your signal's a little low. Are you using something different, and is the antenna very high?
Low power, low antenna, both.
All right, no, very good. Sometimes when I ask people that, they didn't know they had a low signal, or they had issues, whatever. They just don't necessarily know it. And so I will mention it if it comes up that way. Anyway, that was Kilo Golf for Whiskey, X-Ray Uniform, Jerry, Southern Hills. Who else is next?
Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee, Bill.
Very good, Bill. Now your signal is just fine there in Murfreesboro. That's Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee, with a consistently good signal out of Murfreesboro. Who else, Sal?
Hey, Paul, Kilo Mike 4, Tango Mike, Tom in Rockville.
Hey, it is funny. Your signal's great today, and it was really crappy under those weird conditions we were having over the last few days.
Yep. It's funny how things change in a short period of time. Paul, you're doing quite well down here too. And we'll say good evening to my neighbor Larry there. I could probably throw a rock and hit his house. Back to net, Paul.
Yeah, very good, Tom. Yeah, well, somebody contacted me later on about the net, and he said he'd done a lot, been a ham radio a long time, but hadn't spent a lot of time in on the 2 meter, VHF, UHF. And he says he didn't really realize until he got on the Simplexton how conditions can affect the 2 meter, relatively short range transmission. So I was like, yeah, they can really mess it up. It's sometimes worse than others, and we've had it, so it's been horrible. But tonight's good. All right, who else? South, please come in.
K4 ID6.
Hey, Robin. That's Robin. He's also in Hermitage, 5 or 6 miles south of me. That's Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie. Who else south? Please come in. All right, over to the east. Please come in.
WA4ZHI, James in Mount Juliet.
Very good, James. Sound good as always. Someday we're gonna go over bring a lawsuit against the homeowners association so you can put up an outside antenna, but you don't need one. That was Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. That's what we need, is a legal team to represent all our hams locally. Who else is east?
KE4TWI, east of Wilson County.
Yeah, good signal. Again, bouncing between, as I noticed there, between 3 and 5 west. That new location on your antenna is working great.
All right, I'm hearing people I've never heard. All right, go ahead. KE4TWI.
Yeah, it's funny how, you hear people you never heard before. You thought I was just talking to the ghosts out there. Who else is, that was Kilo Echo 4, Tango, Whiskey, India, near Watertown. That was Wes. Who else is, he's got a new antenna up on the tower that's higher and better. And I think he's got a 60 or 70 foot top. I think it might be up close to 100 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 100 feet up?
Yeah, the tip top's about 100.
Well, 100 feet at the top of the, it's an R9. I think you said it was R9 Ringo Ranger.
GP9.
GP9. That's what it is. Yeah, it's doing a great job for you. Really great. That's the best I've been hearing you recently since you did that edition. Anyway, who's up next? East.
Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo, and West, you owe me a speaker. We should try 440 later.
What'd you do? Blow out his speaker with the high audio?
Yeah, he's loud. And he got a complete signal on me over here.
Oh, that's great. You didn't used to. Well, you had a good conduit to him before, did you not, Richard?
Well, I did have a good signal on it, but it wasn't full scale like it is now.
Ah, okay. Well, it just goes to show you how good that signal has improved. It's generally his Wes had oftentimes, due to conditions, his wasn't even registering on scale here on the radio, but he still had audio, and oftentimes it was just an S1, but now it's, like I said, bouncing between S3 and S5. All right, that was Richard, Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo. He's west of downtown Lebanon. Who else is east?
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Wes, you're sounding great in Nashville, buddy.
Don't let Wes tell you, though. Don't ask him about Nashville, because he won't even go there.
All right.
He only goes there with RF. Yeah, the traffic is so bad. Who else is east? Please come in.
WFOEBX, 4 Charlie, Victor uniform.
The Victor uniform, I believe it was, but I had Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray was right on top of there. That was Eddie. Doing all right, Eddie?
Oh, man, doing good. Wes is full scale.
No, it's about time, huh? We've been dragging his feet for several years getting a good antenna up there, but that was Whiskey 4, Echo, Bravo, X-Ray, Eddie, he's in Gladeville. And who was the other? Was it Victor Uniform?
Yes, KL4CVU, Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Victor Uniform.
Forgive me again. I hate to say the wrong name because my memory's going bad on me here. What's the name and location, please?
This is Stephen. I'm on 109, about a mile north of Lebanon Road, between Mount Juliet and Lebanon.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, believe it or not, I was gonna say Steve, but I wasn't. Didn't have complete confidence in it. So Steve over in kind of eastern in 109 up there. It's Kilo Oscar 4. Is it? Oh, it's Charlie Victor Uniform. I just scribbled my writing there. I'm sorry. It's Charlie Victor Uniform in towards the east. Well, east of me anyway. And Steve. Who else is east?
Okay, I'm sorry, Kitty.
Very good, Stan. Stan over in just a little bit north of Lebanon. He's got a good signal to me anyway. And that's Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Hold on. Yeah, drop my pen there. Who else east?
Kilo Quebec 2 Whiskey.
Kilo Quebec 2 Whiskey. What's the name and call? The call and name, please. I mean, the call and location, please.
Hey, very good. The name is Owen. I've checked in once before, and I'm over here in Wilson County near Old Hickory Lake. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. That's Owen, Old Hickory Lake. I know it sounded familiar, but my brain isn't working that well. Kilo Quebec 2 Whiskey. You're doing fine over here, but you're not that too far away there up on the lake. That's kind of northeast of me.
Yeah, right across the lake from Hendersonville.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, Henderson's easy though for us here in Mount Juliet, or at least those with a reasonable elevation. Who else east? Please come on. By the way, that was Kilo Quebec 2 Whiskey in Old Hickory Lake on this side of the river, and it's Owen. Who else is east?
KB4 SFM.
Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot November. Yeah, get that right. Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot November, and that is Tom in Possum Town. No, he's not in Possum Town. He's in Martha. Had the wrong location. How you doing, Tom?
Very well, son, old man. Hanging in there, staying at home, staying out of public, trying to stay alive. KB4 SFM.
Yeah, when I was out today, I was driving in one of the developments over in Hermitage, and I don't get out that much into other people's neighborhoods for the obvious reason. And as I was going through the neighborhood in the like at 12:30 in the afternoon, I couldn't help but notice I hadn't noticed it before in anywhere, because again, I don't get into other people's neighborhoods. And all the cars were in the driveway, and I thought, that looks so funny. It's a Wednesday afternoon and it looks like a Sunday, Anyway, yeah, Tom is the one who usually does the 2-meter information that they're on the repeater from the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club. And we appreciate that, Tom. Who else is, and that's at 8 o'clock tomorrow, by the way. Who else is east?
Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Charlie.
Very good. Good to have you in there, Jeff. That's Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Charlie. And Jeff usually does the what are we calling that net? Escaped my mind there. It's the W. Go ahead, tell me.
W4EAO. That's the emergency preparedness net.
Oh yeah, I sent out the reminder on that. It's a W4EAO net that's for the emergency preparedness. Anyway, it goes out in a reminder if you're on the system for distribution emails. Who else? Good to have you in there, Jeff. Put down the wrong name even. It's unbelievable. My mind's starting to go. Who's up next east? Please come down. Up to the north then. Please come down.
Alpha 4 Delta Echo, Daniel in Mount Juliet.
Very good, Daniel. Good to have you in there here in Mount Juliet. Alpha 4 Delta Echo. Excellent signal, but you're here in Mount Juliet. It's hard not to. Who else is up next north?
Mount Juliet. And by the way, this is over S9 now from no signal to me.
Oh, is that right? It changed that much? You couldn't hear him before, or you just had no signal strength?
no signal strength in the noise. Now he's competing with Richard.
Awesome. Very good. Anyway, that was Frank, Whiskey Bravo Zero. No, I'm sorry. That was Frank, but I had Mark in there first. Well, Whiskey Bravo Zero, November, Oscar. And Frank's is Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo. I did get that right, didn't I, Frank?
Yes, sir.
I'm surprised. All right, very good. Again, Mark, and he's in Northwest Wilson. And that was the Whiskey Bravo Zero, November, Oscar. And that was Mark. And then, of course, Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo with another good signal report for Wes. Wes isn't going to, when we finally do have a breakfast, his head's going to be so big he won't be able to get through the restaurant door because, man, really does have a good signal. So who's up next east? Or north, excuse me. Anybody else north?
Kilo Charlie 9, Echo Tango Sierra, Paul, Mount Juliet.
Very good, Paul. Kilo Charlie 9, Echo Tango Sierra here in Mount Juliet. Good signal. What kind of, I think I've asked you before, what kind of radio are you using there?
It is a ICOM IC 2720.
Oh, yes. Sounds good. Sounds a little thin on is that the standard, the standard mic that came with it?
Yeah, it is. I thought about putting some else on it, but so far it kind of works, I guess.
No, it works clear. It just looks clear and concise. It just, nothing wrong with it. It just sounds a little thinner. I don't know why. I think Icon mics tend to do that anyway. But anyway, it's Kilo Charlie 9, Echo Tango Sierra, Paul here in Mount Juliet. Who else is east or north?
AN4FAX.
I think I hear Otis in there. Is that you, Otis?
Roger.
Very good. That's Otis, and he's in, I believe, Hendersonville. I'm pretty sure of that. That's Kilo November 4, Foxtrot Alpha X-Ray. He's our youngest member at, what was the age? 90, what? 93. That's awesome. And I gather you're in reasonably good health.
Oh, yeah. I'm staying in like everybody should be.
Oh, absolutely. They say everybody over, I forget what the number they use, 65. Well, I'm staying in 99% of the time. It gets a little boring, but we manage. Well, very good. That was Otis, and he's in Hendersonville, Kilo November 4, Foxtrot Alpha X-Ray, the youngest, oldest member on the net. Who else is north?
KN4KXA, Robert in Goodlettsville.
All right, Robert. And that's Robert, Kilo November 4, Kilo X-Ray Alpha in Goodlettsville. That's good signal, too. Is there anybody else north?
Whiskey 4 Delta Bravo Victor.
Hey, you didn't change anything because your signal is real good tonight, too, Brian.
Nothing changed. I'm running the Mighty HT to the attic J-pole.
Oh, it's not just a regular J-pole, though. It's a modified super J-pole.
Who knows? I mean, the parasitic elements may not do what I think they do.
No, I know what you mean. And now you're doing fine to me. The audio is nice and clear, and that's all that counts. And you're doing good for an attic J-pole, I'll tell you. Anyway, that was Brian. He's up in Northwest Wilson at Whiskey 4 Delta Bravo Victor. If you can hear him, it's great, because I don't know how far he gets out. Hey, Brian, were you able to hear Wes?
Not at all. And Eddie he broke the 12, and that's it. I could hear Richard, but everybody is way down, and I did not hear James at all. So I'm just not hearing people. It's really bad. Just to remind everybody, I am way down in the hole. W4 DVD.
Oh yeah, I know you are. That's one of the problems. You'd have to put up a 100-foot tower to do what the rest of us are doing, I think. Anyway, who else is east or north? Anybody else east or north before we move on?
How about west?
Say again?
How about west?
West? I thought I did. I thought I started with west. Where are you? Where you been? This Rick?
Hey, man. I got stuff going on. No, I missed the front of it. Sorry. KN4, TJ up. Ashland City.
Yeah, very good. That's Rick in Ashland City. I'm still anxious for you to get your antenna up. The other one, this one's doing okay, and you're coming in here. It's not a great signal because of just conditions, and Anyway, there was Kilo November 4, Tango Juliet Foxtrot. Is that Kilo November? I get that messed up in my mind now. Is that Kilo November or Kilo Mike? Kilo Mike, isn't it? Rick? Yo, Rick.
Hey, Paul, it's Kilo November 4.
Okay, I guess that's right, because he came after you. That's why it's Kilo November. That should make it easy to remember. All right, very good. It is Kilo November 4, Tango Juliet Foxtrot. I had to keep a running record here, but I don't. Every log is a new log to me, and I just try to keep it in my mind. But I think as I grow older, that's going to be tougher. Anybody else late check-ins like Rick just was?
K4OEN from beautiful Bellshire.
Ah, very good. Yeah, I hope you have Marty there with you as well, Mary.
Yes, he's right here. You all take care.
84 BQK and having a good time.
Yeah, very good, Marty. And of course, we had Mary in there previous. So good to have you both in there. Yeah, we missed you for a couple of 1 or 2 nets. I don't recall now. I don't keep a running tabulation on who's here and who isn't, but I just know in my mind if somebody's not been here. No, somebody who's noticeably absent, as the term is. Good to have you in there, Marty, and good to have you in there, Mary. Mary is Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Echo November, and Marty is Kilo Delta 4, Bravo, Quebec Kilo, and they're both in Bellshire. Who else is anywhere? Late check-in, please come in.
November 4, Delta Juliet Tango.
Ah, very good. That's Don in Bon Aqua, November 4, Delta Juliet Tango. Anybody else late check-ins? No, all righty. There was 34. I don't know if there'll be any more. And don't forget, following this net on Wednesdays, we have the 10-meter net on 28.415 upper side beam. And all right, we're 26 minutes after the hour, so I expect that'll happen somewhere just a little bit before 9 o'clock. I hope. We've actually, even though we have more people checking in, we're trying to do it faster, so to speak, so we don't run. We've had occasions where it went an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, and I felt that was way too long. Anyway, I want to get back to you had a question, Richard, about not Richard, Charles, about a radio.
Yes, sir. I want to ask about the QTY KT8900. I think it's a bow thing or something. I'm about to order it. Mike said that the receiver's awful on it. I want to hear some other opinions on that. It's all I can afford right now. It's a step up from an HD.
Now, what was the model on that?
QTY KT8900.
Does anybody have any experience with it? It is a QTY. Do we have that model number correct? Anybody else know? It doesn't sound right to me, but it is a QTY. It's funny. 8900. Anybody have an experience with that radio?
Oh yeah, I call that my quit radio.
Quit or quick?
Quit. It's QYT 8900.
Ah, very good. That's why it didn't sound right to me. I don't own one, but I know I've seen them on the ads. Anybody else who just hit just didn't? Was that the one you got and it didn't work?
Well, I think it was my antenna problem is the reason it didn't work, because that's I got that whenever I was having problems with my diamond and didn't know it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So the radio wasn't really the bad one.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it since I got this radio, so I'll have to give her a go around again. Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
That's Frank.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. You sounded like John there to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I have the TYT 9800. It's been okay, but just there is a QYT. It's another knockoff of the ASIC.
Right. Well, yeah, and people do get into that mode when they have limited funds. When they see a Yaesu for 300 or 380, and then they see a QYT at 210, they jump on the lower price.
Yeah, except the QYT looks completely different. It doesn't look like they copied the. It looks different. It's a different form factor and everything, but the TYT is a Yaesu knockoff. I mean, it's like everything's knocked off. You can almost operate it the same way.
Okay. Well, I would suspect, truthfully, that it can't be too bad. I mean, if it was real bad, they wouldn't even be selling. You know, they'd be off the market. That's why I would look at it. It's just obviously if that's all the money you have, I would say that's a, you know, it's a good radio. But here's the deal, though. Here's my philosophy, Charles, just so you'll and anybody else who's listening. It's better to save up and get the good one than it is to buy a cheap one and not have good results. Because the good ones from Yaesu, ICOM, Kenwood, Alinco, they're going to last a long time. They have a good reputation. I can't say that QIT has that same good reputation. I wouldn't trust it considering it's, you know, its components are probably 100% made in China. Not to say that's necessarily bad, because, you know, some of the other guys make some stuff in China too. In fact, my Alinco is made in the Philippines, and I don't know if that makes it good or bad, but it's worked fine. What I'm saying is, if you can wait, I'd wait and buy the good one.
I agree, but it's good to have a backup radio.
Oh, no question about it. And if you can swing it both ways, but well, you already heard what I said. I think it's better to have a good radio. And anybody else have the experience with that QYT 8900? Is that 8900? Is that the correct model number, Frank? I think you used a different number.
Yeah, it's a KYT 8900D, and it's on really small form factors. I mean, it's really tiny. It has nothing to do with the 9800 TYT. It's not the same kind of radio at all. They're just, I think, trying to bank on the name, but it has nothing to do with it. It's got the really small screen, and like it's like a color screen. It does have a color screen, but it's really small. It kind of looks like a Baofeng type, but it's a mobile.
Yeah, I got you. Well, there you go. I think you got your answers. I mean, it does work, and I'd love to have probably Michael retest his, unless he's afraid to hook it up to the antenna. If you're blaming it for ruining your other antenna, but to try it out and just to see if it's if it's decent, if you think it's better than what you thought it was, and then get back to Charles on it.
Comment.
Hey, go ahead, Richard.
I have owned the TYT TH7800 and the QYT TH, that is 7900D. I'm talking on the Yaesu FT7800, and I would venture a guess and say I probably won't do another thing with those other two radios. I'm either going to buy a Kenwood, an ICOM, or Yaesu, or something, but it won't be one of them. Back to net.
No, I got you. It's not this. I mean, I've got one of those cheap. Forget the name of it already. I've had it in the car a long time. It was a cheap, less than $100, dual band, 2 meter, 70 centimeter radios. In fact, I think it has another band in it. I just don't pay any attention to it. And it's cheap. It does that. My wife says you really need to get the radio out of the car. I said nobody's going to steal it. It's too cheap.
You're exactly right. They wouldn't know what they were fooling with if they bought it. The QYT I've got is a 25-watt full quad band. The TYT is a dual band, and I used the dual band here on this computer setup for a while, and I really liked it, but it took a crap on me as soon as I tried to cross-band repeat on it one time. So it's functioning again, but it needs a good tune-up on it, and I don't know that I'm even going to bother trying to figure out somebody to fool with it. I'm just kind of disgusted with the whole knockoff, cheap. It's the old adage, and I should have known better, but you get what you pay for.
No, I agree, and that's why I said what I said. Just to give you an example, the first radio I bought was a Kenwood 231. It was a 2 meter only, 50-watt radio, and I got it for a song because it was an estate sale, and I bought the power supply and the radio for like $75 or something like that. And that radio was 30 years old when I got it, and I kept it for about 10 years, and it still functioned. So I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't hurt to pay decent money to get a name brand that's going to be around a long time. And it's kind of hard to break away from what you just said, Richard. If you buy the good one first, you don't have to buy the other one twice.
Absolutely. Yeah, for SIB.
Yep. Any other comments on that for Charles on the QYT radios?
Buy once, cry once.
That's right. Buy one. For those you may not have heard Robin, but Robin, how's your signal doing on your reception on your new setup?
I haven't changed anything.
Well, you've changed since you got the good one. I mean, is every well? How is let me back up. How is Wes doing to you now?
Oh, Wes is up from S1 to S5.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's good to hear. Just goes to show you what the net kind of accomplishes for those that care, and that's that they want to hear everybody. So I mean, Wes really had to work hard to get that antenna up on top of a tower. So I know he really wanted to hear better, and I know I've jumped through a lot of hoops too over the last 5 years to get better signals out and better reception in, and it's gratifying to anyone who's been on the net for any length of time to improve their station. Any more comments about the buy once and cry once? All righty. It was even unrelated to this, to radio. But I remember I was saving money to buy a Nikon, not Icon, but Nikon camera some years ago, probably I don't know how long, 25 years ago. It was an expensive camera, very expensive Nikon camera, 35 millimeter film camera. Back when film cameras, for those that are young who know, they put film in it. Anyway, and then my wife knew I wanted a new camera, so she bought me a Nikon, except it was Nikon's lowest end camera on the market. They never sold one that low before. It was what they call, it's a consumer model. It wasn't a semi-professional, commercial model. And it was a nice little, I still have it. It's a nice little camera, but it's not, it's like it's the difference between having a Mercedes and the feel and the quality of it and having a Pinto. Not to say that Pinto is horrible, that's the difference in the feel and the quality and the smoothness of operation. And I believe from my experience with cheap radios, and I've had a couple like that one in the car, it doesn't have the same feel as the quality radios. Just the knobs aren't the same. The feel of the knobs aren't the same. The feel, the way you change it around and the screen and the audio, there's a reason it's cheaper. Let's put it that way. Any other comments about that before we move on?
Not related to the subject at hand, but the Pinto.
What about the Pinto? The Pinto or the Santa Maria?
The Pinto. I recently saw a meme on the internet. You know what I'm talking about when I say a flame job, a flame paint job on a car, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there was a Pinto with a flame paint job, except the flame started in the rear.
Yeah, that's a meme that goes back about 30 years, but it's pretty funny.
It making me laugh now.
Yeah, we had a guy. He was a housekeeping fella where I worked at the hospital back in that era, and he had a Pinto, and he obviously didn't have any. He had a car, but he didn't have much money. You know how they used to put those? I don't even know what you call them. They were either plastic or metal that you'd put on like the side rear windows and the back windows that would shade the window, but it was, they looked like louvers, fairly large louvers. You know what I'm talking about?
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what Robin done down there, but I've got him about a half scaled up here now, and I couldn't hear him before. So carry on. KI4SIB.
We can. Wes's signal probably helps him out.
His conditions, Richard.
Well, there must be some excellent conditions between you and I tonight, because I've got a room full of you. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work. Thank you, sir. KI4SIB.
Yeah, very good.
S7 to me.
Did you hear that, Richard? S7 to Robin.
I'm just trying to get across the street. Y'all carry on.
Well, you might get the award at some point for the best temporary 2 meter, 70 centimeter antenna.
Well, I will say this about that. There is an absolute monumental world of difference between this 510 and one of them cotton picking JPO. It still blows my mind just how much difference it really is. I'm doing and hearing and talking to things now that I only dreamed of on that JPO. And of course, it never got over 30 feet high here. But, and for a starter kid, I don't guess it was bad. But it now, as opposed to what I've got, I wouldn't go back to it for nothing unless I just absolutely had to.
No, I understand. It's just funny to me that, so many of us, and it means me, start out with a J-pole thinking we're doing such grand things, and we would have done better with a 5/8 wave ground plane,
Oh, absolutely. I don't doubt about that. I could have built one of those little things out of a SO239 chassis mount and probably done as good a job as I was doing on that JPO.
Yeah, well, again, we all live and learn. That's why, well, it's difficult. Try to imagine when you, for any of you, when you first get into ham radio and you go, you know what I need? I need a $400 cross band repeat, 2 meters, 70 centimeter, 50-watt radio that has 400 memories. And I also need a $400 antenna and the hardware to get it up on the roof. Nobody's going to do it. I don't know of one ham that's ever done it. I mean, I did it years later, but that's when I had money.
I don't know many hams that can afford it initially like that. But it is, well, and that, I think that's part of the fun of the hobby. You start off rough, but then you wind up like a polished diamond. You get it to the point where you can't get it much better than you've got it. And at some point, you become satisfied. I'm not satisfied yet. I'm just a stopping point at the moment because of my situation. But one of these days.
Yeah, well, you remind me of it's kind of like the guy who buys the bass boat with the, 150 horse Evinrude, and he spends, $22,000 on the boat, another $1,000 on his rigs and his bait and his lures and his tackle box and his bait box and his catch box, and he comes back with $22 worth of bass. And here we are in ham radio. We spend $2,000 on a radio. We can't eat nothing.
You're right about that.
No, but we have fun doing it though. The bass guy can only talk to the fish.
Well, I guarantee you, I'm having a whole lot more fun on this radio than you're going to have out there in that bass boat anyway.
No, you're right. It's just what's neat about the hobby. You can be sitting around, you can be mobile, you can be in a boat, you can be just about anywhere you want to, and still have a lot of fun with the radio. And it is fun. It is fun. Now, I guess everybody doesn't see that fun, but some people. The one thing about ham radio, while you can have fun just listening, you almost have to want to get on the air and interact with other people. I don't know the other way to say that, but most people get on the air and want to talk, or at least initially they might not want to, but they will eventually. Does anybody have comments or need any information? Wow, that was a quick run at a couple of things there. Let's see. Do I have anything else I was going to mention? Did I mention I'm sick and tired of hearing about the coronavirus? Yeah, I think I did. I did that last night. And I still don't know anybody personally or even secondarily who has the problem. So I guess we're just fortunate here in Tennessee to have a very low occurrence, at least in Wilson County. I know that there's many people in some other areas in Sumner County and Davidson County, and I think Williamson County had more issues than we did. But and I don't think it's because, in our case, I don't think it's because of the social distancing and staying inside. I just think there's a very low incidence of people here that have it. More likely in the busy, wealthy communities of Sumner and Davidson and Williamson. I'm not sure about that either. Anybody else have any commentary about the radios, antennas, the net, improvements, or commentary?
Comment.
Go ahead, Richard.
There are, to date, I think either 5 or 7 people in Clay County that have been diagnosed with COVID-19. I'm very close to 3 of them. It's my godson and his parents, but they're over it. And so, yeah, I know somebody real personally that's been dealing with it.
Did they have real bad symptoms?
Actually, Al and his son, Austin, did. They did kind of kick their rear end a little bit. However, Pam, the wife in the situation, she dealt with H1N1 and almost died from it back when it was going around. And apparently, it toughened her immune system to where this COVID didn't hit. She got diagnosed with it, sure enough, but it didn't hit her as hard as it did her husband and son.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I really think it's so, those things seem to be independent of, they seem totally to be dependent upon the person and what their condition is or how their body reacts to it. Because I know when I've had the flu over the years, the last one I had was about 6 or 7 years ago. It was just a flu. Well, it kicked my butt, man. It was, I didn't die from, breathing problems. I didn't have to be hospitalized, but, I was down and out for I don't know, at least 10 days, you know, so it just depends upon the person and under what circumstances they're in. And unfortunately, people who are old, you know, or debilitated or in nursing homes are really going to struggle.
Oh yeah, the weaker the immune system, the weaker the body to start with, the harder it's going to hit them. And Al has got heart issues and several other things going on, and it didn't hit him extremely hard, but hard enough that it put him into bed a couple of days, and he was just he still feels a little bit weak, but he's getting over that too.
Yep, I got you. Very good. I don't want to dwell on that coronavirus thing. We all hear enough about that stuff. Any other questions? Any other comments? Any other comments about the net, or shall we move on? Well, I think we're going to be moving. I was expecting John, the fellow who got he took his technician, and I have to look up his call. Somebody, if somebody's got their computer in front of them, look up John. I'll think of his last name in a second here. John. Well, it's an interesting last name, and I forgot it already. Hang on, I'll get it for you. Somebody look it up for me if you will. I'll find it here momentarily. Bear with me. I want to see if he's got his call up here yet. Yeah, Sterling, Stirling. I don't know if it'll show up in QRZ or not this early. I really don't know. Stirling. Hermitage, Jon Sterling. And I'm going to jump over that. But again, did a great job passing both the technician and the general in one sitting, which I don't think I was going to be able to do that. I barely got through the tech exam. I wasn't even finished studying for it when I took it. I just got sucked into taking the test, and I passed it. I didn't want to know how badly or how good I did. And then a month later, I took the general. So I was able to study for it. But he had studied for both, obviously. But anyway, he did a good job, and we did that remotely. So, via the VEC, the coordinators were in Anchorage, Alaska. But they're willing to do it. They're taking the time and the trouble they got software and all the testing they need to do it online. It's kind of a neat process. But I don't know I guess you could do a couple, 3 at a time if everybody were in the same room. And then you'd need to have 3 laptops and the same deal. It couldn't be any talking, just like a normal test. But anyway, if anybody knows of anybody, let me know, and I'll get them in touch with the right people, and we'll go from there. That includes any upgrades to anybody who wants to move from general to extra there. Richard.
What was the name, Paul?
Sterling, Stirling.
Well, I need more than that.
Well, his first name is John, Jon, and it would be in Hermitage. So you want a social security number?
You got that?
No. Yeah, I don't know if it could get published on QRZ. I think QRZ does not update instantly when the FCC does.
Yeah, nothing's showing up.
Okay, I'd forgotten that it doesn't show up in QRZ until they get the feeds off of the FCC. Don't pay that much attention to it. But it's probably on the FCC site, I'll bet you, because they said he would have it within 4 hours, and that was at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I'm looking on the FCC site right now, Kibby and I are kicking.
Ah, very good. You didn't see nothing, or are you just looking?
It didn't pull up, but I'm going to try again. How do you spell the last name?
It's Stirling. Anyway, no, it's just good to have another ham in the group. He seemed pretty excited about when he learned he passed, because they do it instantly. I mean, as soon as they get the test back on the PC, and he learned instantly. And as soon as he got the okay, I didn't shake his hand because we're not supposed to be touching each other. And he just jumped up. First thing he did is he texted one of his buddies. He was so happy. Anyway, but then I'll move on. Then we've got the what do you call it? The 10-meter upper sideband net coming up next. Anybody? Any other questions? Comments? Concerns? Updates? Anything?
I got his call sign.
Oh, really? What is it?
KO4 DFA.
Kilo Oscar 4 Delta Foxtrot Alpha. I'm pretty sure he's aware of that, but I'll send him if he's not listening, because he might be listening right now. He said he's got an HT, and I didn't know if he was able to. I know he can listen, but I don't know if he's listening tonight. All right, Kilo Oscar 4 Delta Foxtrot Alpha, and it shows him as a general, right?
It is a general. Yep, just issued today, effective today.
Man, that's fast. So you can. The best part about this is you can instantly learn if you passed, and you get your license within the same day, and you can also instantly learn if you fail. All right, very good. Well, I'm going to move on then. Without any objections, I'm going to go ahead and move over the 10 meter now. And I need just a second. I just noticed I have the wrong antenna hooked up to the rig, and I'll be back in 15 seconds. K4P.
K4TWI West, you still over here?
Donnie, I take it West's signal was really good to you tonight?
I had him on low power, and I heard him fine. Switched to high power and couldn't hear him at all.
How did high power on your radio change it for him?
I don't know. I tried it on both, but I could hear him real clear. I did that on a couple of people. I could hear him a lot clearer on low power than I could high power.
I think they got something crossed on your switch on your switches on the radio. I've never heard that before.
I'm wondering something going on here. All right, we'll see you on 10.
All right, I'll be right there. Anyway, closing out the 2 meter portion of the net, moving over to 28.415. I've not checked the frequency, so I'm presuming it's open. If it's not, we'll see who's there and see if they'll take our QSOs here. K4PEW QSYing, as they say, to 28.415, and it's upper sideband. All right, very good. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey on 28.415 upper sideband. We'll take same routine. We're going to start from the west. Please come now.
KM4YRF.
KM4YRF. Got you in there, Michael. Who else? November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. Very good there. Don and Bonacqua. Who else is west?
Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor.
All right, very good, Jack. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. Anybody else west? I think I heard somebody in there. Does anybody copy that?
That was John W4AWE.
Man, his signal, is it good signal to you?
It was real low.
Yeah, John, your signal's real low. Something changed?
W4AWE.
Ah, that's better. What happened?
Yeah, I just have the amp turned on.
Ah, very good. Yeah, I thought you had the same problem that Donnie did down there. The knobs are in the wrong places. All right, John, that's good. Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. Who's next? Anybody else west? All right, moving on to the south. South, please come now.
Kilo 4 Oscar Fox Oscar.
Kilo 4 Oxtrot. Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Donnie, good to have you in there as always. Who else is south? No more south, south or east. Please come now.
KB4 is just
Very good. I got Tom in there, and I think I heard is there a Victor Tango Hotel in there? Okay, is that Kilo November 4 Victor Tango Hotel? All right, very good. What's your name and location? Very good. Your signal's a little low to me. That's why I'm having trouble hearing you. Are you doing any? What kind of is it a vertical you're using? Okay, very good. It's like it's an end fed. Is that what you said? Yeah, it's a little low. It's difficult. If I had headphones on, I'd be better off, and maybe I should do that on the 10-meter portion here. But good to have you in there, Mike. And that's Mike's in Antioch. Kilo November 4 Victor Tango Hotel. Who's up next, south or east? KM4HQE. Stan, I got you in there as well. Who else is west or east? All right, west, east, or north? Anybody else north or east? Any place, anywhere, please come down.
Hello, November 4, Foxtrot, Alpha, X-Ray.
Ah, very good, Otis. Got you in there too. This November 4 Foxtrot Alpha X-Ray. Good to have you in there. That's Kilo November 4. That's right. I had that slightly chunk there on the cutting off the K. Kilo November 4 Foxtrot Alpha X-Ray Otis in Hendersonville. Anybody else? Any late check-ins? Please come down. Okay, had a big train wreck in there. I think I heard heard Frank in there. Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo. Who else was in there?
Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra. WD0 and all.
All right, Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra, and then I had Kilo Bravo 0 NOO. Okay, that was Paul. Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra, and Mark. And Paul's here on Juliet, and Mark is in Northwest Wilson by the weather station. Good to have you both in there. Decent signals, but it was a train wreck between three of you. Anybody else late checking? All righty, we got everybody who's in is going to be in here. You can jump in at any time if you do hear me at this point. But we had what did I just say? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, which is one of the normals. We've had as many as I think 20 something at one point. Maybe that was on a Sunday night net. But anyway, start from the bottom. We had Mark Kilo Bravo 0 November Oscar in Northwest Wilson, and then Paul Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra in here in Mount Juliet. Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo Frank in Northwest Wilson. Otis Kilo November 4 Foxtrot Alpha X-Ray. He's in Hendersonville. Stan Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo over just north of downtown Lebanon. Mike Kilo November 4 Victor Tango Hotel now near Antioch. Tom, Kilo Bravo 4, Sierra Foxtrot November. He's in Martha. And Kilo 4, Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Donnie down there in south of me in what's considered Hermitage, but it's south of, it's kind of goofy. I hate that. The little drawing lines are weird to me. But Donnie, good to have you in there. Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo John over in Bellshire, or Bellevue, excuse me. Bellevue. Don't mean to insult Bellshire or Bellevue. And Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor Jack in Donaldson. November 4 Delta Juliet Tango in Donnie. Yeah, I'll get it straight. Are you running Don in Bon Aqua? Are you running an amplifier tonight? Yeah, I must have jumped out of it. Anyway, there was November 4 Delta Juliet Tango, Don in Bon Aqua, Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot, and that's Michael in Bellshire, and myself, Kilo 4 Delta Echo. I can't even get my own call right. Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey in Mount Juliet. Maybe I just changed my call. But that was good. Good night on the 10 meters. You're welcome to stick around. I'll be here for a few minutes. So guys, have a great night. Appreciate the good net, and I will catch you guys hopefully Saturday night. K4 PEW, and hope to hear you on the air other places. Have a good night, folks.
K4OF.